Okay, we are back with the Silvertone. So the last thing we need to do is swap these 4 jacks. We're going to do it Fender style with a high and low input with the shunting style jacks as well. And yeah, then we will be all done with this project. Now, if you go in the description, you will see a playlist for this amplifier. I've done a bunch of work to it. You can see all the cap swaps here, this terminal strip. We've got a new 3-prong in it. We did a new output jack, lots of stuff to it. So new cathode bypass caps here. So really, yeah, we've done a ton to this amplifier, and this is the last little cherry on top. So we're gonna go ahead and do that now. I already wired up 2 of them with the 1 meg. Hopefully you can see that there. So yeah, just exactly how Fender did it. We will be connecting in on these legs right here. That will be the 68Ks that are already here. Those will go to the same point, and then the other one will basically be set up similar to this. Now we will probably run a new ground wire for the grounds of the jacks. Ignore the painter's tape. That's just to tell me which one is input 1, since it's upside down reversed. So just so I don't get confused. All right, let's go ahead and remove the jacks and desolder the wires, and we'll be off to the races. So we're not going to solder these in yet because I'm not sure exactly the orientation I want of the jacks just yet. So we're just going to get them kind of temporarily hooked in there. And then, yeah. And we're not going to rely on tooth washers for these like they did originally. If you look at the original versus a new one, it's a much taller jack. And so I can't actually get away with doing that, unfortunately. And I don't have any longer ones. And we need to get this project finished up. So it's not a big deal because we will be obviously tying the ground elsewhere anyways. So it's totally fine. Just calling that out in case anybody is wondering. All right, so we've got it pretty mocked up here now. So this is the input 1. You got the 1 meg right there. It goes to right here. Then you've got the 68K as well as the jumper wire over here. Normally these 2 are soldered together, but obviously in this amplifier, the inputs are very far apart. So we just got a little solid core jumper wire there. And then we got the other 68K up here. So the only thing we need to do is solder in these connections, and then we will add a ground wire joining the grounds all to this spot right here. So let's go ahead and do that now. Okay, there we go. So just to recap, we've got the 1 meg, we've got the ground here. The ground is running over to this ground connection, the sleeve, and that's grounding out here. We got this 2 68Ks, and then we got the jumper wire joining this jack with this jack. This is the Fender, typical Fender way, although as mentioned before, the jacks are right next to each other, so it doesn't look like this because they're soldered directly to each other. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Excuse the audio. We're just using the camera inbuilt mics right now just to show how it works. So we've got it all wired up. We're plugged into the high input, so we should have more gain and more volume. So let's hear what that sounds like. Then if we go over to the low, so immediately obvious in the room, hopefully the camera picks it up, but quite a bit more volume and gain out of this input. So everything's working correctly. Now we just got to duplicate it over here. All right, just like that, it looks like we are done. Excuse the extra noise if you can hear any. The washing machine's running right now, and I'm right next to that. So the only difference with this side versus the other side is the ground layout. So we connected the sleeve connections together just like we did on the other one. But instead of running to a ground connection on a terminal strip below, there's not one nearby that really makes sense. So I ran it to this sleeve, which is for the trem foot switch, and then these red connections right here, these red wires with the solid core, I don't know, secondary layer, whatever you would call that. Those are running all the way over here to the, if you track it, it's running all the way over to the ground on a terminal strip over here for the preamp section. So I figured that would be a good place to to ground it without having to go and buy a, one of those little tabs to put under a bolt and do all that. So this should be pretty straightforward. And then we've got the original 68Ks here, the 1 meg. So everything should be rock solid. So we'll do a quick audio test. I already showed what that sounded like over here, so I don't need to record that. But anyways, I think we should be done with this now. This was a massive project. This ended up being significantly more work than I initially anticipated. And yeah, it was quite tedious. These are not fun amps to work on. You can see, I mean, just all the wires that are just wrapped around each other. This is all just, factory junk. You can see here too, here, everywhere. So yeah, not fun to work on by any means. You can see the crazy lead, the varied leads for the original diodes here. They all test fine, so we're keeping them. But yeah, just these were made cheaply and quickly, and that's very evident. So last thing we'll do is, like I said, I'll just test real quick, and then I'll dust out any little particles or little bits of clippings that are still in the chassis with the air can, and yeah, we're good to go. So thanks so much for watching. Really appreciate it. I don't think I'll be able to do a demo of the amplifier, but it's pretty cool. If you can get one for cheap, I guess go for it. But don't be surprised if the bill to fix it is about the value of the amplifier itself, because these are not worth that much. So they're cool, but just keep that in mind. These are, they do a thing, and they're not made well. Anyways, thanks so much for watching, guys. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more, and until next time, see ya.